Thanks for joining us from Kentucky. It's been a somber week. It's been an emotional week. It's been at times a difficult week. And at the same time, there's been some moments of and some humorous moments as well. This video is the former. It's still processing. It's going to be a couple minutes before it's ready to go. But we're going to talk about this and then set this video up that you're about to see. If you're a person who gets emotional when you see something emotional or hear something emotional, grab tissues. Frankly, you may not even want to watch this. If you're an incredibly or overly insensitive person who has a hard time with sadness or seeing distress, you do not want to see this video. If you are in EMS, you have to watch this video. If you know someone in EMS, share this with them. You're about to meet Sean. Oh my God. Chris, help me out here. What's his last name? Sean Gilly. I'm sorry. He is the executive director, president, chief, head of Letcher Fire Rescue and EMS, both the fire side and the EMS. How that works? Well, he and I had a conversation about that. It doesn't really well. They lost everything. I know we've been talking about feisty dwarf fire in Knott County. Letcher Fire Rescue and EMS in Letcher County lost everything. Even more so because Feisty might still have their station. Letcher doesn't have a station. Chris, if you're talking to me, buddy, I don't hear you. Okay. There is their fire apparatus just done. Fire station, ambulance station, combined station. The whole back of it is blown out. For a mile, 2 miles downstream, the creek is right behind their station. Their big problem was behind about 20 feet below their station is where the creek is. That's behind their station. In front of their station, directly across the street, is about a 50-foot cliff. So when that water rises, it doesn't just go across the street and go out into a field. It has nowhere to go but up. So as it blew through their station, blew through their apparatus, blew their supplies, equipment, gear, everything. Some of the stuff that it got everything. But the most visible thing you see for about 2 miles down the stream is there's little blue nitrile gloves in every fucking tree. Maybe if Chris has that photo from earlier, we can show it to you. But it's like it's like every tree is a Christmas tree, and it was decorated with blue gloves. And everywhere, they're everywhere. They're in the apparatus in the ambulances that are washed out into the parking lot, in the grill, in the tires, under the wipers, on the roof rack. They're everywhere. That's an image I'm not going to forget. Excuse me. So out of the 7 ambulances, they lost all but 1. On the fire apparatus, they lost everything. They're still answering EMS calls. They have been answering EMS calls from the flood to this day, to right now. They're still answering calls with their 1 ambulance. With some equipment, they lost their ventilator. They don't have a ventilator on an ambulance anymore. They're an ALS squad, by the way. Don't have CPAP. They're using an incredibly old monitor. They don't have drugs, a lot of drugs. They don't have any money. They don't get any funding. They get it from billing. They haven't seen anybody. There's been no EMA visits. There's been no FEMA visits. The Red Cross hasn't been there. Nobody has been. No fucking body. I'm the first person who hasn't run with them or worked for them that they've seen, that has intentionally gone to them. The only fucking person. It is now, what is today? Thursday. It's a full week since this happened. Nobody has fucking paid them a visit. Nobody. No fucking radios, no computers, no laptops, no notebooks. They can't even do any fucking billing right now because they've got no way to fucking do it. No one has stepped up on the county level, on the state level, on the federal level. Where the fuck are you? Where the fuck are you? This is a man who is fighting to stop from breaking. This is a man who legitimately loves his people that work for him. You can see it. You will see it. You will hear it. But this is the man on the verge of breaking. His crews have been sleeping in their ambulance. I have nowhere else to go. The school district, Electra Middle School, they know sleep on like Vietnam era cots in the library of the middle school. Well, they can only be there for a week, but schools are open. They got to get out. They have nowhere to fucking go. Nowhere to go. Still answering calls. The fire department can't answer calls. They want to. They can't. They don't have any gear. They don't have any equipment. There's a house, and I don't know if we posted those pictures. We will later. As I was driving to the lecture station to meet with Sean, there's a house burned to the foundation. It was still smoking, little flames, and the foundation, it literally, everything's collapsed on the foundation, burning and smoldering. I was like, what the hell? And then I get there, and I talk to Sean, and he tells me, yesterday evening, a house caught on fire. People called 911, people came into the firehouse. House burned to the ground. Not a single water was put on it because there's nothing to put on it. There's no fire trucks. They're gone. The gear is gone. The hose is gone. Everything is fucking gone. That house burned down to the ground. It might have been 50 yards up the street from the firehouse. Had it been a normal day and the flood hadn't happened, those fire trucks would have been there almost instantly and could have stopped that fire from spreading. Started as a small fire inside. Whole fucking house burned to the ground, to the foundation. They normally average 30 to 40 EMS calls a day. One truck. From 7 trucks to 1 truck. And that truck, they need help. They need a lot of help. And they need more than just and equipment and vehicles and a station for that matter. They don't have a CISM team. They don't have a crisis incident stress management team. He didn't even know what the fuck it was. They don't have an EMS council. The state EMS council was trying to do a new system, but right now they're in purgatory between the old state EMS system and the new one that's coming into place. And so there is nobody. Nobody's in charge of the state EMS system right now. Nobody knows who it is because it's not established. They got rid of the old system before the new one was in place. They can't turn to anybody. Those are the trees with the gloves. This is inside the fire side of the station. That's mud on the ground. That's one of their tankers ground. We have some more pictures here that will actually show you how high the water got. That is their fire gear room. It's all destroyed. Every bit of it. Absolutely destroyed. Look at the mud on the ground. SCBA mask sitting in mud on the ground inside their station. That is the tanker. I'm sorry, that is the engine fire next to the SCBA mask. That's destroyed. Never used again. That is the back of the station. That little creek right there, that little creek caused all the devastation. That big hole you see in that blue building, that used to be a wall. The water blew through it and blew everything out of it and downstream. That's the front of the station. The water goes so high, it blew out the windows on the second floor. Those doors were not rolled up. The water pushed them back. Those trucks are destroyed. Destroyed. They have one truck that runs. It's sitting in the station because it wasn't there. Because they weren't using it. It was somewhere else on higher ground. And it was out of service. That truck, if we have a picture of that lime green one, Chris, that truck is the only truck they have. The problem is it's got water damage and can't be used. That's a brand new, less than a year litter, ambulance litter. Destroyed. To replace it, I don't know, 15, 20 grand. That's the inside of the main entrance to their station. That line that's going halfway through that logo on the wall, that's the water line. That is not a paint job. That brown shit from the almost 3/4 of the way up going down, that's water. That's mold and mildew. The smell of mildew in that building is fucking overpowering. That's mud on the floor. Everything in that building is destroyed. They just built the additions and rates to that station. They scraped and they raised money and they just recently finished the upgrades to that building. Fucking done. They have no home. Literally no home. A lot of the people lost homes. They had to go back to, lost their vehicles. Outside the station, there were a lot of the personal vehicles for the crews who were on duty that night. And they don't have a station. Not a firehouse, not an ambulance building. Fuck, they have one ambulance out of 7. The county coroner's vehicle was stationed at the Letcher ambulance building. The only coroner's vehicle. Destroyed. Post more pictures of the damage. I've taken a whole lot of pictures. I've been hesitant to show them. But I think you need to see it. Just the scale and the scope and understanding. And even still, you're not going to understand it. You're not going to get it. Because the pictures just don't do it any justice whatsoever. This video is going to be a difficult one to watch. This man, Sean, is a hell of a nice guy, great guy, dedicated to what he does, loves his people, loves his city. He's a man on the verge of breaking. His crews are on the verge of breaking. I told them today, you guys got to talk about it. I know you don't have anyone to talk to, but when you're sitting around in middle school with their temporary station and you got nothing to do and fucking talk about it, talk about the shit you saw. I heard some stories from them today of being out when the flooding was going on, hearing screaming, people literally begging them to save them. They couldn't. They couldn't. They tried until they couldn't hear the screaming anymore. They tried until they couldn't see them, until they washed away. Dealing with these kid guys and girls on the Letcher EMS squad are fucking kids. I told them, you got to talk about it. That we got the CISM team. Have you talked to your county CISM team? What's that? I explained it to him. He has no idea what that is. He said, can we start one? Can we do one? Can you get people here to talk? Dude, I'm going to fucking try. Jason Smith, Kyle Albrecht, Matt Rook, Mark Rook, Ed Gatto. Message. Let's talk about taking our CISM team down to Kentucky for a few days or so. Those people need it. They have it. That's not an option for them. We knew it. They have to do it. There's been suicide since the flooding. People just completely overwhelmed. There's going to be more. There's going to be a lot more. Chris, how are we doing on that video?
I am not seeing it yet on my end. And quite frankly, that is expressly because of the devastation down there. They just don't have internet reliability the way that we expect it, which is hard.
Yeah.
It's frustrating on you. Okay. It is frustrating on you, and it is incredibly frustrating to me because there's stories down there that have to be told, and ultimately we don't have the multi-million-dollar capabilities that the networks do. We're trying to do things as fast as possible and eliminate middlemen, and that's not just the donation side of things. That's the entire operation. We have a crew of volunteers, that people that are still sitting in our Discord. This part is getting me upset, because these people have an allegiance to DeWeather that have literally given days upon days. The miles that were driven today,
Listen, today
I am
today
just
was a
floored by the volunteers. These people are
today
incredible.
was a today was a very scary and eventful day for um we driving around. We stay on Discord and they navigate for me, help me coordinate stuff. We had a pretty big stretch today in a very remote part of the county where we lost all communication. And then we had an issue. I had an issue, and there was no communication at all. And it almost turned real bad. It almost real bad. But fortunately, we got somewhere where there was communication. Collectively, the team in what we call the situation room worked it out, and we got a solution. They put their heads together, and those with the knowledge on that particular issue worked it out, and we resolved it. Hopefully,
If you've
there
ever
was
seen the movie Apollo 13, when the whole thing goes down and the crew is out, they're in the spaceship trying to fix things and figure out what the hell's going on, and there's a whole team of mission control people that are scrambling even faster than the crew is because we don't have the information. That's what happened today. Joe Mead actually called this an Apollo 13 moment, and it was absolutely spot on. We had a failing
listen, dude.
vehicle, a crew out of communication. Everything died within about 90 seconds of each other.
And in and it just so happened to happen in one of the worst hit areas where the road was essentially non-existent. The road was washed out. I have photos that I did not get a chance to upload because of reception issues, but I have photos of that road and where I was. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was afraid. I was literally afraid.
And to be
It,
fair,
it,
we were
it's been a
starting to work some contingency plans. When do we let somebody know out there? What contact numbers did we have that were going to be semi-close? Who could we reach out to?
well, that is one of the things that y'all do is as I'm driving around, we're following me GPS wise, and they can see exactly where, literally within like 30 or 40 feet, where I am, and they can pin it and track it. And as I'm driving around and us in communication, they're pinning it for future references. As we go through roads and we see certain things or there's certain landmarks or something, they pin it. So we know to experience maybe a loss in Wi-Fi or loss in cell service, or loss in both, or this road has damage, this road's impassable, this is the best way to this place, this is the best way to this place. God, no, don't ever go that way, which we shouldn't have done today. But regardless, one of the things that we have done every single time we've done a trip is we have learned from that trip. I don't think we've stopped learning from this trip. I think we're learning stuff on this trip almost hourly that we are going to be able to use first one. God forbid, but there's going to be a next one. And we're going to go to the next one. And all the things that we've been doing as a team, we have learned from. I don't know, Chris, how long's our list of things?
Pages at this point.
When
Some
we went
things that
to
are immediate, some things. Good.
When we went to the first place in Waverly, it was a rapid trip. We collected supplies, drove to Waverly, dropped it off, took off the slide out, dropped the shit off, and drove straight back to Pennsylvania. Two places, relatively confined areas. We knew the people were all in that area. Here's all the shit. Here's all the shit. Good luck going back to PA. Went to Manville, one little town, a few streets. Here's your shit. Good luck. Mayfield happened, a town, a bigger area, but still a very confined area. We go to Mayfield, we drop it off. Here you go, good luck, gotta go. We were in Mayfield for maybe 4 hours. Dropped it off, came right back to Pennsylvania. I've been here for 4 days.
It's. I'm loving the
We
comment
didn't
from Rich. Rich Young is checking in saying Lori could be an Uber driver in Hazard, Kentucky after this week.
We don't have the luxury of going to a small area and finding that one contact on the phone or email or text and saying, all right, here we come. You go to this address and drop it off. There is no way to contact some of these people. You got to go to them. That's why I left on Monday night to come down here almost a week before the supplies are getting here tomorrow. Because there is no one else to these fucking people wrap your head around this. It's been a week since this happened. There has been no assistance to them at all. Fucking none. No FEMA, no state, no county, nothing. It's neighbor helping neighbor. That's it. That's fucking it. We're the only people that have come to them to offer them anything. And that is exactly why we started Disaster Team. It's exactly fucking why. No red tape, no bureaucracy. Need people need shit. We're gonna get the shit. We're gonna take the shit. Give them this.
Can we also say I won't go into specifics on this, but we had an emergency personnel down there in Kentucky tell us one of the people that is involved with a distribution point.
Let's just fucking say it. No, let's just fucking say it.
Okay.
Let's fucking say it.
Go
it's
ahead.
a fucking fact. This is not a rumor. This is not an allegation. The gentleman who was in charge of collecting the emergency services relief supply is a convicted fucking felon for fraud. Corruption. We have decided, Palisades, Bill, the chief of Palisades, and I have decided that fucker's not seeing any of this stuff. We're bypassing him. In fact, we're taking all the non-fire supplies to one spot, and the people are going to come out from those four hardest areas are going to come out, take what they need. Just take it. Fuck the bureaucracy. Fuck the distribution center. Fuck the nonsense. Fuck the egos. Here's all the shit. Take what you need. Take it. Don't let somebody tell you got to wait, get in line, or any of the other shit. Here come the trucks. Here's the shit. Take the shit. It's here for you. Take it. Don't sign papers. Don't prove this. Don't prove that. Take it. You fucking need it. I have seen you for the last week. I have been at your stations. I've been in your homes. I've been in your towns. We have talked. We have laughed. We have cried. I get it. I know who you are. I know who they are because we came here this week for the week to do that, specifically for that purpose. We quote unquote pre-deployed so we could do this. So we could go into those places where nobody's fucking going. Nobody, let's face it, we've been to Waverly. No, we've been to Mayfield. Really, no whatsoever. Manville, maybe some local help. It's a massive fucking thing that gets a lot of press attention. There's not a lot of fucking help, my friends. I saw one Red Cross truck down here all fucking week, and that was today. One fucking Red Cross truck. So when you're driving, you listen to the radio, and they say, donate to the disaster, Red Cross disaster relief, say fuck you. Call that radio TV station, send them an email, say fuck you. How much of that money, every dollar that goes to the Red Cross gets spent on actual relief? Do we know? Out of every dollar, how much gets spent? Less than 30 fucking cents. Sorry, I'm a little upset about this. I get angry every time like this happens because of that. And this time, I talked to my mom tonight. She called me. Hey, you still in Kentucky? Yeah. What happened down there exactly? Clue. I mean, she knew there was flash flooding. I told her before I came down, and she saw a little blurb on the news, but nothing demonstrating the scope of things down here. Nobody. For the clicks, they pictured these four beautiful children from Feisty in Knott County. These four beautiful children. Chris,
Yes.
can you put that photo up, please?
Which one?
The four kids.
Yep, let me get it. Give me a second.
Yep. You're gonna see these four kids. We posted it way before we even came down here on Monday. These four kids who were washed away from Feisty in Knott County. I'm going to tell you the story because the press didn't. All they did was show the picture of these four absolutely gorgeous little kids from ranging from a year and a half to 9 years old. And they did it for the fucking clicks because that's all they said. Oh, these four kids, here's their names, here's their ages, got washed away. Two of the bodies were found on Friday, and the other two bodies were found on Saturday. Carry on. Click here for this advertisement. I'm going to tell you this story. I know the story. I've been in Feisty a lot this week. It was the first place I went to. It was the last place I was at today. I met a lot of those people. And they all knew the four kids. They all knew the family. Everybody in Feisty knows everybody. When this storm happened and the flooding started to happen, mind you, all of the damage that happened here happened in 30 minutes. 30 minutes, a half hour. These are the kids, ranging in age from a year and a half to 9 years old. The water started to rise. Their dad got them together, got them out of their house, tied them together with an electrical cord. That's all he had. First, he tied them to a tree, but the water kept coming up. He untied them from the tree, but kept them together. Took them to a big, strong concrete and I-beam bridge, tied them to it. They were safe until a mobile home came down the creek, the bridge, and knocked the kids loose and swept them away out of their dad's reach. And their dad watched them down the stream and scream, and eventually the screaming stopped, and he couldn't see them anymore. Well, then the dad learned the next day that if he would have gone another 20 or 30 feet, they didn't get flooding. They could have been safe on that. And for 4 days, 5 days, he couldn't sleep, couldn't close his eyes. We lived it. Yesterday, the man put a gun to his head himself in Feisty.
Peter, you broke up when you said that.
Yes, the man put a gun to his head and killed himself. Couldn't live with it. Every time he closed his eyes, he would see it, hear them screaming. Told everybody, I can't do it, I can't do it. I can't stop seeing it, I can't stop hearing it. The man couldn't do it anymore, he broke. He was a man that believed in God, so maybe he thought he's going to see his kids. God, I hope he's right. I hope there's a God, and I hope if that's what happened, then he gets to go see his kids. Because I can't fucking imagine that pain, that burden, that guilt. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of that around here. There's almost everyone has one of those stories. Whereas the flooding happened and they were fleeing to safety, they could hear people screaming, or they could see people washing by them, or people and them washing by, or homes where they knew people were washing away. There was a man in Feisty right down from the firehouse. His mom was disabled, stuck in bed. She was bedridden. He wouldn't leave his mom. He stayed in the mobile home. They drowned in it. They washed away. They drowned in it. There's so many stories down here like that. There's also other stories. There's a guy from the Feisty Fire Department who rescued 6, 7, 8 people during the flood. Meanwhile, he lost family and he lost his house and everything. He's still living on the second floor of the Feisty firehouse, which is frankly mold and mildew ridden right now because all the water from the flooding is seeped up into the wood and the drywall. He's got nowhere else to go. There's 2 of them living up there, nowhere to go. There are hundreds of people here that have there's hundreds, it's got to be thousands of people that have nowhere to go across the 5 counties. In Knott County alone, it's hundreds of people. There's still hundreds along those missing. They're still doing body recoveries. Chris, what day was it where I was it yesterday?
That was
Come on,
yesterday.
camera, Chris.
Yep. That was yesterday. The Leicester Fire Department, and I don't know if you mentioned this or not, they're sleeping in the school library for another week until school starts.
I did. They in a week, they got to get the hell out of the school because their kids are coming to school. They have nowhere to fucking go. They're going to sleep in the ambulance again like they have been before they got the library a couple of days ago. They're going to sleep in the ambulance. The stuff that they do have, they have nowhere to put it. Nowhere. Sean, the guy whose video you will eventually see here, can't take it to his house. He lost his house. Just like most of his crews did. They lost friends. They lost neighbors. They lost family members. Most of the people that live down here have been here their entire lives. Whether it's been 20 years, 30 years, or 80 years. They've all been here their entire fucking lives. Everybody knows everybody. It's one giant community of people who knows everybody. Everybody. And they're used to helping each other. Except now they're all in the same predicament. And it breaks my fucking heart every time I see it. And I talk to them. But you know what? I've noticed something, and we talked about this today, Chris. Every single time I'm driving around, going from point A to point B to C to D to E to F to G, every single person who's been outside has waved to me. Every single one of them. Is the video ready?
Yes, it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, I will warn you, this is an incredibly emotional video. This is Sean Gilly from the Letcher Fire Rescue and EMS. Grab your tissues, and we'll be back after the video's over. Whenever you're ready.
My name is Sean Gilly. I'm the CEO, Executive
volume
Director of Letcher Fire and Rescue EMS. Our station and vehicles was destroyed by the flood July the 26th of 2022, and we lost everything. All but 2 ambulances the next day after the flood. One of the 2 lost a motor, so we were down to 1 ambulance. Lost all the fire trucks, all of our equipment, medical supplies, everything was total loss. Sorry.
Take your time, man. Take your time. Your station got wiped out. I was there. I saw everything. I can't even imagine. You lose any people?
One.
It's all right, man. What do you need? Just tell me what you need.
The biggest thing that we need right now is, number one, we would say prayer. Pray for our people. Keep us in your thoughts. Secondly, we need medical supplies because we never stop taking calls. Our employees have lost everything, but they still showed up. They still slept in the ambulances. And they're having a hard time dealing with the mental aspect of hearing people scream for help and they couldn't do anything. But they still showed up even though some of their homes were lost. My home was flooded. But they're still showing up for work. We're still operating the best we can with what little supplies we have. We can't. We have some that people has donated, but as you know, those are disposable. So once you use them, you've got to replenish.
And you're an ALS squad.
We are ALS squad. We lost our ventilator. That's one thing that we've lost that we can't replace quickly.
What is the most? I know you need everything. I understand that. What's the most critical equipment that you need right now? Monitors, a ventilator, CPAP. You have your CPAP and all that, or
no, we lost all of that. I would say the most of the biggest piece of equipment that we need now is a ventilator and monitor.
Okay. And you usually use a Zoll monitor.
We do.
What you're used to using, your crews are used to using.
Yeah. I don't know that obviously it's going to have this will have a lasting effect on our whole area for years and years to come.
Yeah.
The mental.
Do you guys have a SISM team down here? A crisis incident stress management team?
Not yet.
You don't have one?
We have been reaching out, trying to get help for our employees. We talk with one another, trying to.
When this video's over, you and me will talk. Okay? I got some connections.
That's something we need.
You damn right you do. You absolutely. And I hope you guys are talking to each other about it. You got to talk to each other.
Yeah. So
right now you're working out of are we in the middle school or the elementary school?
We're in the middle school.
We're in the middle school library right now.
And we.
I'm just going to pan around here real quick.
We can. They've been gracious enough to let us use this for a couple of weeks. After that, we've got to find somewhere else. And that's
School's starting back up, right?
We're struggling with finding a place to go. Everything it's been flooded. So we were able to get a camper and a shower trailer from the state. So we'll utilize those.
FEMA helping you at all?
They haven't spoke to us about this yet.
I'm going to give you my number before we leave. I think most of the chiefs, the EMA guys, have my information. I'm going to give it to you personally. You'll keep in touch with me. I'll keep in touch with you. When I leave here Saturday to go back to Pennsylvania, we'll keep in touch. This effort doesn't stop when I leave. And when our people leave tomorrow after we drop off everything, we're going to keep in touch for months and months and months. In October, we're going to start collecting presents for kids. Right. You know any kids around here, let me know their first name, how old they are, what sex they are. We're going to buy presents for them. We're going to wrap them, put their names on them, and sometime before Christmas, we're going to drive all those down here and make sure those kids get Christmas.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Anything we can do, honest to God. You message us, and we're going to do whatever we can for you. Not just today, not just this week, not just this month, not even just this year. Okay?
Appreciate it.
No, absolutely.
I apologize.
Don't stop apologizing. You have nothing to apologize for. To the folks who are going to be watching this in Pennsylvania. Again, they donate a lot of stuff to come down here for your community. Say something to them. Anything you want.
Thank you. Thank you for your donations, for your prayer, for your support for us, and we appreciate it. A lot of times this area is looked down on, but they're good people.
Listen, I don't mean to interrupt you here. Back in December of last year, we went to Mayfield for a tornado. We took them fire trucks and all kinds of stuff. So last Friday morning at home, I got a phone call from somebody in Mayfield. Did you hear what happened in Eastern Kentucky? What the hell happened? There's no news about it anywhere. Outside of the state, there's a little blurb. There was flash flooding in Eastern Kentucky, nothing else. So I started down here Monday night, drove one night Monday night, got here Tuesday morning, and we're going to do for you. We're going to do for you. This is not a temporary thing. This is a long-lasting relationship now. You're stuck with us for as long as you can, and I will.
Appreciate it.
We will continue helping you for as long as we can and as much as we can. You'll have my number eventually when we're done here. I'll give you my email. Hell, I'll give you my home address. You want to get away from Kentucky for a week or two, come to my house. But we'll keep in touch, and don't hesitate to get a hold of me. And me and the people who are watching this are going to do whatever the hell we can for you.
Well, we appreciate it more than you will ever know. Thank you.
Well, we're just glad to be able to do it. Sean Gilly. After that video ended, we talked for over an hour, and there was a lot of tears and a lot of angst and frustration. That man's on the brink of breaking. Good man. A decent man. It's a man who wants to provide for his agency, provide for his community, provide for his employees. There's nothing. Nothing. They have no alternative. There's nobody helping them. Frankly, a lot of the places down here, nobody's helping. That man's a broken man. Almost. Almost. He needs help. He needs some encouragement. His people. God, his poor people. His employees. They saw things. A lot of them are young, and they saw things this last week that some of us who've been in this for 20, 30 plus years never have seen, never will see. We're fortunate up in Pennsylvania. We have a lot of resources. Before events, we have resources. During events, we have resources. And after events, we have resources. CISM is a huge one. They have none of that. They fend for themselves before calls, during calls, and after calls. And then something like this happens. I said it to him, and I'll say it to you. This is a long-term relationship, a long-term operation, a long-term project with Eastern Kentucky. It doesn't end when the trucks get delivered tomorrow and unloaded tomorrow. This is going to be something that we do for a long, long time for them. And again, in October, we're going to start collecting toys for them. We're going to gift wrap those toys, and we're going to write the kids' names on the toys. And then sometime before Christmas, we're going to drive down. Rob Cheney's going to dress as Santa Claus. Some of us are going to dress like elves. Maybe I'll put the big blue cock suit on. Find Jared for the blue blue Santa suit. Something. But those kids are going to have a Christmas. Nobody's thinking about that right now, but Christmas is going to be here before they know it. And I don't know where those kids are going to be or what they're going to have. But they're going to have a fucking Christmas this year. Come hell or high water.
There is something that you can do that you are watching. I am seeing currently 57 people are watching this on Facebook. 11 of you have shared it. If you want the help for these people, you have to share this message. You're not going to get this on the news. The news is not there to help them. FEMA is not there to help them. The only people that are coming to help are the 54 of you that are watching this right now. The news media isn't looking for this story. Tag them, every single one of them. Flood them with this. This is actual humanity right here at home that needs our help.
You know, I thought about this morning, Chris. If something like this had happened in a foreign country, our government would be loading airplanes with supplies and relief. They just would be. That's not a knock on anyone. But if this happened somewhere in like Central America or Europe or something like that, something on this massive of a scale, the government would load airplanes with supplies and equipment and gear and people to go and help them. We need to be doing that here. It's our people. It's been a rough week. It's been a draining week. It's been a taxing week. I've shed a lot of tears this week. And I've had a lot of doubt this week. A lot of doubt this week. I almost went home yesterday. Chris, come back again. Quit hiding. Yesterday, we had a long discussion for hours on Discord as we were driving around. I almost went home yesterday. I was on the brink yesterday. It was a hard day yesterday. Yesterday was a terrible day.
Let's call this
But
what it is. Let's tell everybody what the hell was going on. We had you back in Virginia last night. You were ready to get on 81 and would have been home tonight.
would have been home this morning, yeah.
But the job's not done.
No.
I sent a message to the group. It's another of the pittance ways that we can help. The pennies. They still showed up.
Listen,
Every time the chief said that, it was like, it was another punch in the gut. These people had everything ripped out of their lives, and they still showed up.
literally everything. Literally everything. There are lone survivors of families. Lone survivors. They're the only person left in their family. They have nothing. They have nothing. They have the land that their family's owned forever. There's nothing on it. And in some places, there's a lot less fucking land because it washed away. They have nothing.
This is a people that pride themselves on their bloodlines.
Yeah.
And
For
entire
sure.
bloodlines were washed away.
If you watch Carter's video sitting in front of the Feisty Firehouse, was that video posted yesterday or the day before, he says that was Billy and Bonnie. That's who they're named after. That's how they call it. It's not family names. It's not just the last name. It's a clan name. That's who he's named after. That's who she's named after. They lived here with their pap, and I've known him since them. And I've knowed them since here, and my granddaddy knew him since there, and everybody fucking knows everybody. You know, sometimes when something happens, you be like, hey, do you know anybody that died? Every fucking body here knows somebody that died. Everybody. I don't know how to say this, Chris, and maybe you can help me do it. There is, and this is not at all trying to toot our own horn here. We're the only fucking entity helping them. Literally the only fucking entity helping them. And we had to drive 10 plus hours to do it. We are not a big organization. We are not a well-funded organization. We do not have a lot of resources. This entire fucking trip thus far has been paid for by me. I missed 2 weeks of work. I took the last 2 weeks of work because of sickness and an incident at work, sickness. And then this week I took off. So it's 3 weeks. It's not like I'm raking in the money. I'm not a rich man. I'm not even well off. I don't even know what well off means exactly. But I paid for this entire fucking trip. The money that you people have given has been going to them. Every time we see someone handing out free food, what do I do, Chris?
The pullovers to the side of the road were numerous, and quite frankly, scare the hell out of the team. Because we're watching the dot. The dot is moving. That's the connection. You watch the dot's still moving. And then we hear, oh fuck! And the car slams on the brakes and the dot stops moving. I'll be back. I just gave this kid making hot dogs $200.
Yep.
And then you won't take a hot dog from the kid. I think you've had 3 meals the whole week.
Listen, my stupid ass has turned down free barbecue. Good, actual, legitimate barbecue 3 times this week. But we gave them money to buy more stuff to make more barbecue.
Karma is getting you. Because you paid for barbecue tonight.
Yeah. No, I did not. I paid for pot roast.
You're currently paying for barbecue. Let's say it that way.
We started the DeSASTER team to do exactly what we're doing down here.
And that mission is evolving. We're finding it's evolving.
Taking what is needed directly to those who need it. No red tape, no bureaucracy, nothing. What do you need? Tell us. We get it. We bring it. Here it is. Take it. Take it. Look, we don't do any publicity, frankly. None. We don't go sending press releases out. We don't go advertising like, hey, support DeSASTER team relief efforts in Kentucky. We don't do any of that shit.
We had a 2-hour-long discussion last night about your desire to not have publicity. And if we're going to go that route, it has to come from you guys.
Listen, let's not have that conversation. That's another very long briefing conversation when I get home.
No,
We have
I
a lot of
mean,
things.
I'm talking right now. We've got 70 people watching and 36 shares. I can see the
Yeah, oh,
numbers.
I see what you're saying. The reason people, the way people learn about us is through our Facebook and YouTube posts and our Instagram posts. I got a contact tonight from the head of an EMS agency for an entire county in West Virginia. He and I had a very long conversation today while I was driving to try and find food. And that I found out again when I was going to get food. So I haven't had the time to share this with the team. But I could have some absolutely fucking massive news that I will share with all of you in Discord later on or something. And that guy found us through a Facebook post that was shared from Boone County, West Virginia. Look, I wish to get. I've said I don't know how many times this on this trip. I wish I were wealthy, because if I were wealthy, we would do this every single day that I'm alive for as long as I'm alive. We would fucking go to places where people need the help, and we would fucking help them. And we try to do that now with the limited resources that we have. We're going to be We're going to work diligently next week to get our 501c3 finally pushed through the IRS. That will be a game changer for us, a huge game changer. We will be able to do a lot more. We'll be able to help a lot more people. We'll be able to ask for a lot more things from companies and things because we'll have that little stupid fucking number behind our name because the IRS says, you know what, you can write off your taxes. And frankly, a lot of companies won't give you shit if they can't write it off.
Chris Casbier in the comments has set me up for a rant. You have what you're passionate about. He just hit my button. Well, after the news tonight, if they choose to show the weather, we'll be on it. Bingo. Fuck the news media and everything they do and everything they stand for. They want to show pictures of 4 dead kids, not the people that are down there helping. They don't want to show Kentucky recovering because that's not their voters. Fuck everything about the news media. Every one of them can go to hell. They don't want to tell this story. They don't want to help people. You want to drag a news truck down there? Well, pull a fucking trailer with it and fill it with some water. Ain't gonna hurt you that much. Trust me, Comcast budget is doing just fine.
You're not going to get an argument from me.
It is becoming abundantly clear to me, the more of these things that we've done. We have to help the helpers. Because they're not getting it. If you need supplies, if you need food, if you need water, as a regular Joe Blow citizen, you can go to any distribution point and you can pick up the supplies that you need. Something that resembles the supplies you need.
For the most part, yeah.
The first responders, the people that are literally still risking their lives, haven't even gotten the courtesy of a phone call.
You heard Sean say it. Since the flooding began, they have not stopped answering calls. They lost shit and family and friends, and they have not stopped answering calls.
They have
continued.
There's a running joke in the emergency services that the fire guys call the EMTs Band-Aid pushers. They don't have a goddamn Band-Aid to push.
Listen.
There's nothing there. And the fact that the news media is going to call the now and say, oh, hey, we're a week into this. Is there a dead kid we can show? Fuck them.
You know what? This is what tells me everything about the story that's happening right now up at home in PA. They came to watch the stuff get loaded and tell the story of the guys bringing the stuff down. Nobody offered to call down here and ask me what it's like down here. That's telling. I'll tell you what it's like down here. And Chris said the Band-Aid thing. When I got here Tuesday morning, First place I went to was Feisty Dwarf Fire. I spoke to the fire chief. I said, "Are you guys running calls?" And he looked me dead in the eye and said, "Peter, someone asked me for a Band-Aid. I couldn't help them because I don't have a Band-Aid." I stopped what I was doing, grabbed my own personal medical gear out of the back of my truck, and I gave it to him. And he said, "Man, that means a lot." And then it fucking hit me. He said it means a lot to him, and I'm like, I just gave him a couple bags full of shit that I can probably replace over time. And then I realized I selfishly kept my fucking stethoscope in the back of my car and intentionally didn't give it to him. I've had it my entire EMS career for 3+ decades. I fight over that fucking thing. I'm protective of it, and I cherish it. And as soon as he said to me, "That means a lot to me," I called myself an asshole, went back to my truck, grabbed my stethoscope, and I gave it to the man. That means a lot. Yesterday, when we met Brittany and Jody and Colin. Yeah.
The four of them at the
Yeah. Pooter, Brittany, Jody, and
yes, Alton, Brittany, Jody, and
Alton.
Pooter.
Alton, yeah. When I met them and they were talking, they were telling me stuff that they wanted and needed. Did we ever post their long video, Chris?
I don't remember, honestly, at this point.
We'll post. I
Yeah.
don't believe we did. We'll post that video tonight. So in the short video that we did post, they're telling me about the stuff that in the longer video, they're going into a lot more detail about stuff that happened in their experiences and stuff. And there's a funny story in there too. But in the short video that we did post, they're starting to go through the stuff that they need, not the stuff that people are bringing, like that everyone brings, but the stuff that nobody brings, like the shovels and the boots. So she mentioned boots, like rubber boots, and it clicked. And I'm like, I looked at Alton and I said, "Oh, what size boot do you wear?" He's like 9.5, and I'm thinking to myself, "I'll wear a size 10." And I brought brand new muck boots with me because I knew it was going to be muddy down here. And I stopped him and I said, "Listen, I got boots for you." Turned around, went to my truck, grabbed the boots, which are easy to get to because I gave all my medical shit away that was in the back of the truck. Walked back, gave them to him, told him to try them on, make sure they fit, make sure they're comfortable. He loves them. Saw him today. Gave him shit that we bought at Walmart this morning for them. Wearing the boots. I bring that up because somebody said to me today in a text, "Hey man, hope you're having fun." That person would have been in front of me today, would have punched them in the fucking face. I don't know what people think when I come down here. Chris can attest to this, and anybody who was in Discord or in the situation room this week, that virtually 24 hours a day, not a fucking thing about this is fun. There are moments of levity. This is not a fun trip. Chris can tell you, or any of them can tell you how, I don't even know what the word is.
Peter, I need you to check the message from me, please.
Right now?
Yes.
If I open it, it's going to turn my thing off. Just talk to them, I guess.
Yeah, you'll go frozen for a moment. Well, you haven't gone frozen yet.
Okay.
I don't have that confirmed.
We can't mention it because we don't know for sure.
Yes, I'm debating whether I should hide the comment outright.
Oh, was it a comment in the
Yes.
video?
Yes.
Hide it, please. Hide it, please. I know a lot of y'all are religious. I know a lot of y'all are believe in God and prayer and
Hold
stuff.
on, Cody. That's not you. It's just there's some legal things that we can't put that out unless we can confirm it.
I know a lot of you people are very religious, and everyone I've met down here is, and the first thing they ask for is prayer. I think sometime, Chris, I would like to do a video on people's faith. I don't have that faith. And I don't know how the fuck they do. I want to understand it. I don't get it.
I don't either. Not the way these people down there have faith.
I don't get it. Literally the first thing any of them asked for. If you watched our videos, Sean did it, Preston did it, Carter did it. What do you need? Well, first we need prayer. I don't understand that. I mean, I appreciate it. I do. And in a lot of ways, I'm envious of it. I'm jealous of having that kind of faith in something that you can kind of fall back on and use that as comfort. I don't know what the fuck that's like. I bought 2 bottles of comfort today at the liquor store.
I'm seeing a comment here from Joan Walco. This is greatly
actually-
appreciated. Hold on. This is greatly appreciated, but probably not the way to go about it. She said, I sent an Amazon order to the Letcher station of stuff.
Oh, Joan.
I don't
Joan,
think
there
it
is no
can get there.
station. Joan, it can't, honey. It cannot get there. Joan, when did you... Joan, message me. Joan, just message me. Message me. Yeah, guys, listen. Stations that were massively impacted, there's nothing to send it to. There's nowhere to send it to. If you have something and you want to send it directly to them, message our and I will give you some information. But don't just blindly Google an address and send it to them because they're not going to get it. It won't get delivered, frankly. Amazon's not delivering down here. Chris, let's if you can, let's go back and for the people that are putting the time here and the investment here and watching this video. If you haven't yet shared it, please do. Let's go back through the comments, see if there's questions or anything, and let's do our best to answer them. If you have not yet asked a question and you got a question, ask us and we will answer them.
Yes, I can only go back as the comments are coming in so quickly. I can only go back as far as 4 minutes ago. Let me see if I can get it a little bit bigger here.
If you have asked a question we have not yet answered it, ask your question now and we'll do our best to get them all.
Okay, let me take a look here.
As we're waiting, I want to say thank you to all of you. All of you. Those of you who have commented and posted, liked and shared, those who have donated items, those of you who have picked up and driven items down to Ottsville, everyone who's done anything. I cannot tell you how tremendously proud I am of all of you. This effort in such a short time, once again, has been tremendous. And frankly, if it wasn't for all of you, I would not have the ability to come down here a few days in advance to do this because I'd be at home trying to do what all of you were doing on your own anyway. Like, we don't have to hold your hand anymore. We tell you what we need and you guys get through
it. Rich Young it was echoing a comment that a couple of people had made. Can you explain, you say ALS and an ALS unit, ALS rig. Okay. What's the differences there?
In the EMS world, well, it's state by state, but essentially the difference, BLS, basic life support. That's your first response, your emergency medical technicians. They can do oxygen, depending where they are, maybe some therapeutic drugs. Well, frankly, some places can't do shit. It depends on your agency, your medical director. But the ALS is the paramedics. They can give you advanced life support. They can give you medications. They can give you therapeutic drugs. They can do airways and literally advanced life support, advanced medical care. Paramedics on ALS, EMTs on BLS. Basic life support, advanced life support. Basic, advanced.
Basically, to even dumb it down a little bit further, break it down a little further, BLS is... ALS means you're in deep shit.
Depending on what ALS squad comes, you could be deeper. Never mind. Yes, you're correct.
BLS means you need an ambulance to get you to the hospital, and those people are trained to do what needs to be done to get you there. ALS means you're in big time trouble.
You're generally sicker or more injured. Yes.
Correct. Cody is checking in. We met a friend. Let's get a positive for a second here. We met a
Bring him on.
friend. I don't know. I haven't seen him in the Discord.
No, I
But
have not either.
in regards to the mail delivery, apparently Whitesburg has one mailman that is able to work, one letter carrier that is able to work for a, quite frankly, fairly large area.
Yeah, I drove by the Letcher post office today, Chris.
Was
And it
there a
was an
post
absolutely-
office?
It was an absolutely beautiful block foundation.
Cody is checking in again. This was just a minute ago. I want to say thank you for caring so much for an area people don't care for. Even Kentuckians think they are poor and helpless there. It's a lot of
Cody,
amazing people, though.
Cody, I've been hearing that a lot from the people that live here, saying that people think less of them and they think down on this area and they treat them like second-class citizens here because, well, they're not affluent, they're not wealthy, they don't have a whole lot, uneducated, and that's not to be defamatory or to be critical of them. It's just the way it is. So people inside this area, and frankly, you can blame all of that on Hollywood. They're almost made into caricatures in the films and TV. The people that are around here, the people here that I have met, every single one of them has been fucking tremendous. Tremendous. They've been nice. They've been generous. They've been kind. They're heartbroken. They're shattered. They're devastated. But somehow they still manage to smile, say a nice word to me before I leave them, shake my hand. One thing I do appreciate about Eastern Kentucky, Chris, is the men shake your hand, they don't try to hug you. I appreciate that.
Yes. Chris Casbeer's checking in, our resident letter carrier, saying, that's one hell of a carrier for damn sure. I'm just floored. It boggles my mind. I have to be off the air here in about 15 minutes maximum.
Yeah.
I'm going to work tonight and do the job I get paid to do. Talking about people playing with pretend race cars, sitting in their comfortable air-conditioned living rooms in very expensive computer systems and everything else. And I'm sitting here thinking, who the fuck cares? Why?
It puts things into perspective, that's for sure. Listen, Chris has got to go. We'll give him a little time to go to the bathroom and get a drink, get something to eat before he has to go and do his broadcast.
let's get comments up here. If you last chance, last call. If you've got any comments, I want to get them in here and get them on the air.
Any questions? Ask your questions. This is a good time to answer them. While we're waiting, I will tell you that we'll be live tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for Whitesell. And at some point, hopefully tomorrow afternoon, assuming we have a signal, we will be live as deliveries are made. Otherwise, we'll be posting a lot of pictures and videos.
Yesterday you were frustrated because we had a day without content. Almost a day without content. It seemed like in the middle of the day.
Yep.
There's a reason.
Busy.
So much going on. Infrastructure that is crippled.
I mean, yesterday I was basically nonstop, going from place to place to place, working out the finalities of getting this stuff to them, and working out a rendezvous point for them. We've gotten a lot of work done in 4 days. A lot.
And we're not done yet.
Not yet.
We're still going to show up.
The stuff should arrive from Pennsylvania tomorrow afternoon around, well, between 3 and 4-ish, depending on how long it takes them to get through traffic and any stops they might make. But they'll be leaving Bucks County at 4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning.
And that segues nicely to the comment from Erica here. Erica, by the way, thank you. One of the behind-the-scenes heroes that's been doing things here. Shout out to Palisades for putting together the donation drive and all the volunteers that showed up. They got everything palletized and packed up in just over an hour.
That's insane.
They filled a building with fire gear.
Yeah.
And somehow got it onto pallets, ready to load into a tractor trailer in an hour.
They had their apparatus outside the station, parked outside the station because they had so much stuff. All right, let's end this. I love you all. Ladies, I love you a little bit more. I would love to hear your comments or read your comments on what you thought about Sean's video there. We do have more content to show you and more videos to upload. But again, the infrastructure is just horrible down here right now, so it's very difficult to get videos up. That little video we just posted, Sean, took us how many hours, Chris? 5 hours to get uploaded?
At least, yeah. But now that we have it, tomorrow morning I can work on it a little bit.
Yeah.
I will be kind of MIA the second half of the day. We have a trip that we've planned that I can't kind of get out of.
Yeah, you can tell me later.
Yeah,
I love you all. Thank you again for everything you're doing, everything you've done. If you haven't yet liked our Facebook page, please do. If you haven't yet liked our YouTube channel, please do that. Comment and like and share on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it, please. It helps us a lot, actually. And as we grow and do more things, it becomes even more important that we have that. You can still support us. You can go to ky.theweathercenter.com, or you can go to Venmo at the weather. Yeah, we'll end it there. I'll see you in the morning at 9 o'clock for What You Can Expect Live. I love you all, ladies. I love you a little bit more. And to the Situation Room folks, I'm forever indebted to you.